Hey man, what's up, y'all, man? You know, it's your boy. It's your boy Colombian Papacito. Don't say it right. You gotta say it right or don't say it at all. You know what I'm saying? Colombian Papacito. If you're not gonna say it right, don't say it at all. I'm telling you right now. Hey man, so I saw the little Don't Box Me In video kind of getting some traction. So, I had to come with a 2.0. I didn't really tell the full story of Don't Box Me In. I told some stories here and there, but I didn't really tell the full story, you know what I mean? And I wanted to get a little bit into later on in life type thing, you know. Yeah, man. So a lot of times, like on the previous video, I've been boxed into this category because of my skin color, and pretty much the point I tried to get across on the last video was, hey, I don't believe in being black. I don't believe in that. I believe in that concept is completely fake. Just like I don't believe in a white person's white or a brown person's brown or yellow person's yellow. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in those concepts. I choose not to believe in those concepts. And I think the only reason why they came up with those concepts is so one person can rise and one person can fall below. Because they believe they're bound to this category in their life, they limit themselves on what they truly can potentially be. So you're not gonna get me boxed in. You know what I'm saying? You can't box me in. I'm whatever I believe. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, and there's like numerous stories out there of propaganda and people trying to pretty much mix you into this concept and try to make it seem like these words or these behaviors are linked to your skin color when it's not. And like I said in my last video, man, there are African American people. There are African American people in the southern part of America that literally behave totally different than the African American people on the east side of America. So yeah, there are a lot of similarities, but there are vast differences. I believe in your culture. You come from your cultural background and you come from your nationality, which is American. And if you want to take it even further, then you go into your indigenous or you go into your ethnicity roots. Like I said, man, in my last video, I don't believe in it. I don't believe. So if someone were to ask me, right, are you black? Typically, I stumble with that question because I'm like, I already know what they're looking for. Typically, if we're in a situation where, hey, I just got to give a quick answer, I'm gonna say yes, because that's what society wants me to say. But if it's like, if you're asking me and you really want to know what I want to know what I think, I'm gonna tell you no, straight up. I'm gonna just tell you no. Like, no, I'm not black. Do you see my skin color? Does my skin color look black or is it brown? Which one is it? Is it dark brown, mocha brown? Milk chocolate? What is it? So what if they just came up with this new concept of all people who look like me are considered chocolate? They're not considered black. And then they deem all the people who are darker than me stupid, ugly, and retarded or something like that. And all the people lighter than me or a lot more intelligent, whatever. That's kind of the concept that they came up with, just to confuse you, just to believe in something that doesn't even have to control you, doesn't have to have any power over you. So enough rambling. Let me just get into the story, man. So I pretty much went to in my last video. I talked about how pretty much like I was in middle school and I had these experiences of being in an all Hispanic school, majority Mexican, right? It's an all majority Mexican school, and they kind of told me to be a certain way. Well, guess what, man? It's crazy enough. If y'all don't believe me in the last video, I'm about to flip it on you. I My dad ended up moving to a different part of Houston. At the time, I was in a very predominantly Hispanic area, and then I ended up moving to a pretty much half Hispanic, half African American area. So while I was in that area, I had to go to the school. I don't even want to say the name because I don't want people to freaking find me and stuff like that from my school and be annoying. But I ended up going to the school, and I'll say the city, Missouri City, Texas. And this school, like I said, was half and half Hispanic and half African American. And I think probably European, and there were a lot of, what do you call them, people? They had a medical program, so they had like a lot of legit Indians from India that were going to my school as well. So we kind of had like a mixed group, but predominantly, if you're talking about like just 80% of the school, it was half African American and half Hispanic. So when I went to the school, right, very, very, very culture shock to me. It was a super culture shock to me, right? And I'm explaining why. So let's go back in memory. Let's go back down memory lane. Around 2004, 2005, what happened was a massive hurricane. It was called Hurricane Katrina, and it pretty much wiped out a lot of homes, a lot of businesses, a lot of things that people had going on in New Orleans. So those people were pretty much migrated to Houston, and then over years, they began to kind of take over certain communities, start certain of their, start some of their affiliations that they had before in Houston. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of crime rate that was going on. There was a lot of, indifference. But there was also like some positive things like food, a lot of culture that, you're not familiar with, and accents that were like foreign to you and everything like that. And it was cool. Uh, Louisiana people brought over a lot of beautiful women too. But for the most part, the school that I went to, African American people were very ghetto, very ghetto. And like I said from the beginning, and I'm not saying everybody was. I'm not saying everybody was, but for I would say 60% of the African American people there were ghetto. Like they talked a certain way, and it wasn't just normal English. Like it was this slang that you can almost not understand. They behaved a certain way. They always fought over everything, over the smallest little things. They would start up these cliques within cliques. They would be very socially divided. They will fight amongst each other. They would create these hoods. I mean, it was just diabolical. Some of the things that they were doing. And it was a culture shock to me because I never experienced stuff like that. Obviously, it's kind of like my first high school experience. I actually moved there in the 10th grade to that school. So my last experience prior existing to that was Hispanics, and for the most part, Hispanics were together. You know what I mean? They had like a sense of togetherness. You know what I'm saying? They always had each other back. Of course, they fought. They had like disagreements and things like that. But at the same time, they wouldn't like rat on each other or snitch on each other or something like that. And it was not like that when I went to that new school, man. It was not like that. It was very rowdy. People were trying to attack each other all the time. People were trying to start stuff with you. I had one guy. I had one guy for no reason at all smack me in the face for no reason at all in front of the coach, and the coach just stood there just to see what I was gonna do. So I was like, okay, if he's gonna stand there, then I'm gonna fight back. You know what I mean? And I mean, and the coach was from Louisiana too, so New Orleans too. So basically, what ended up happening was me and that guy we got into like a scuffle, and then they broke it up, and then they were asking us why did we get into a scuffle, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why he even. I don't know why he hit me. I don't know what's wrong with him. Something seriously like wrong that this guy hit me out of nowhere for no reason. I barely know the guy. We talked in passing, and he just decided to smack me in the face for no reason. And they punished both of us. They punished both of us. We were literally flipping tires. We were literally flipping tires. They told our coaches, and we were literally flipping tires for like an hour and a half. It was so dumb. I literally couldn't even feel my arms trying to flip tires. But anyway, that's to say that's the type of stuff I was dealing with. I was dealing with just like random BS, like people trying to rob you, and sometimes I felt like in some sort of way they tried to kill you. They tried to set you up. I mean, I would hear people, I would have conversations with people, and then I would hear stuff in the background of other people like making plots to rob people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I would hear things like that, and I'm like, dog, like, and it was only in this cultural group. And I'm just like, dude, like, what's wrong with what's wrong with these people? Like, why are they so freaking violent? Like, why do they behave in this manner? You know what I mean? And on the flip, and that after that culture shock, I realized that I, as a African American, or at the time, right? Because what I believe was I was black. So let's just for the video's sake, I believe I was black at the time, right? So I, as a black person, did not fit with these other black people. I could not understand them. And I tried for, I think, I want to say the first semester of my sophomore year trying to understand these people. I tried to adopt their lingo. I tried to talk like them. I tried to do some of the things that they did in terms of not radical stuff, but just like hang out with them, click up with them. And it just didn't, like, I always found myself pulling back. Like, I always felt like, nah, I just can't do it, man. I don't know why you're acting like this, but it's not me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you act. I don't know why you talk like this. I don't know why you talk like that to girls. I don't understand it. I don't know why you have your arm around your girlfriend like that, like you almost choking her out. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. And I don't even understand why the teachers never did anything about it. Anyway, so a lot of these things that were happening at this school in particular, I literally could not fathom that I'm a black person and they act like this. And then it hit me. Then it hit me. This is what the kids at my last school wanted me to act like. This is what they wanted me to act like. And that's why when I started trying to act like that, it didn't work because they were calling me out on my shit. They were like, nah, you not like that. You ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't realize it's because I wasn't acting like them, which were, pretty much these people that I view as ignorant, right? Because they're just being rambunctious for no reason. So what I came to understand is I fit more with the Hispanic people. And people will see me hanging out with Hispanics, hanging out with Hispanics all the time. And people will mistakenly think I'm Hispanic because of it. But no, you know what I'm saying? No, I wasn't. I didn't speak their language, but I did behave like these people. And that's why I had to distance myself from these people and be more close to these people because, damn, at least I know if I'm cool with this person that he's not going to betray me for, for no reason, you know what I'm saying? Or for some clout. It felt like everybody was doing stuff for clout. That's what it felt like. It felt like people just fought. People fought each other. I shit you not for clout. You know what I'm saying? And I was not about that stuff. I was not about that. Like, if you're gonna fight me, it's the death. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna fight me, I'm thinking you're trying to kill me, so I'm gonna try to kill you back. That's not how they fought. They just fought just long enough for the teachers to break it up and for it to hit like freaking whatever Twitter or something like that, so they can be now famous, so they can at the high school, so they can feel like, okay, I run this shit. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for clout, man. Fighting for clout. And some of these dudes literally took boxing lessons just so they can win fights in school. Made no sense. Made no sense. You would think school or high school is a place where you go to learn and educate yourself. Like, no, it's where you go to learn either bad degenerate habits or to stay away from people who are bad and degenerate. In my case, I learned bad and degenerate habits. But eventually, because I'm smarter than I look, I learned to stay away from it. I learned to distance myself from those type of people. And that's what I ended up doing. I ended up having, a lot of Hispanic friends, which, hey, guess what? They thought that I fit that stereotype again because of my skin color, right? They tried to box me in. But the more I showed up and showed them who I was and had these conversations with them and, spoke to them a certain way, did not in any sort of way try to act violent or talk a certain way, you know what I mean? Then they began to trust me, like, oh, okay, I'm cool with this guy. This guy's cool, And then they, in a way, they would embrace me because it's like, all right, this guy is clearly not like the other guys. So I'd rather be cool with him because he seems like more of us, And then that was just that dilemma I faced right before my adulthood because I ended up graduating from that high school. And through all 3 years, I've dealt with the dilemma of these kids are black just like me, but they act, talked, and their demeanor is not like mine. And, for the most part, a lot of those guys were, hopefully they were able to turn around, but they were going nowhere in life. A lot of those guys were going nowhere in life. And, that's fine to each his own. And not everybody can win. Not everybody can eat. Some people are just, destined to go back to the hood, or some people just destined to relive the same experiences their parents were living. Not me, not I, right? So eventually, what I started to realize is I don't need to identify myself with that stuff. I don't need to identify myself with that stuff because I literally, for those 3 years, tried to box myself in to a concept that didn't even fit me. And I never realized this is why, like, I struggle with this dilemma of like, of should I behave like these people or should I behave like these people? But in a sense, what you're supposed to behave like yourself. You're supposed to be who you are. You're supposed to be who you are. And that's the person that grew up in whatever culture and you identify with that culture and you experience life through that lens, of your culture, your heritage, and race is not a part of it. Black race, the white race, the yellow race, the brown race, like none of that means anything. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all different shades of brown anyway. You know what I mean? We're all different shades of brown. And I get it. There's on the extreme side, yes, there are people that are white pigment, right? And there are people that are black pigment, right? But that's few and far between. We're all shades of brown. So all I gotta say is, guys, if you're a kid out here watching and you're going through some of those experiences that I'm experiencing, or maybe you're an adult, right, and you're reflecting off of some of those experiences of you were once in the position to where you had to be or had to make a decision and react in a certain way, but your body was neglecting it. You know what I mean? That's what it was for me. essence of who I was neglecting everything that I was doing. And I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the way I talked. Like I would literally talk a certain way to certain people, walk all the way home, talk completely different. And I'm just like, why do I feel so fake? You know what I'm saying? Why do I feel that way? Like why do I feel like I'm just faking it? Every time I walk out of this house, like I'm a different person. And I came up with all these different personalities of who I was, right? And only me and my closest friends knew who exactly who I was, right? But then when I'm around my closest friends and then there's other people that come up to us, I would project a different personality or a different reality of who I was just to save face, just to cover myself, put up that facade just to cover myself of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not black and I'm not proud. I wanted to put up that facade, to make it seem like I was proud to be black, but I wasn't, and it's because I'm not. Simply, it's as simple as that, man. It's because you're not. Like I said, you can believe in what you want to believe in. Teach his own. You can believe in what you want to believe in. I just choose not to. I choose not to be boxed into a certain concept. Now, you could say, okay, what about heritage? What about all these cultures and all that stuff like that? Yeah, I get that. You can feel like you're boxed into a certain culture, and that's all you are and who you are. But if you're going to allow something, if you're going to allow something to control you, then that's on you. I'm not. I love my culture. I love my culture is Texan. You know what I'm saying? That's my culture. And I grew up in Hispanic hoods. That's my culture. I love Hispanic. I love Hispanic music. I love Hispanic beer. I like everything about it. That's what I love. That's my culture. You know what I mean? Hispanic Texan culture. That's what I grew up in. It doesn't control me though. It doesn't control me at all. But you know what did control me? A made up concept, race, being black. That controlled me a lot. That controlled me on a lot of things. I felt like I had to have certain responses to certain problems or to certain instances. If someone says something a certain way, or if someone talks to me a certain way, I felt like I had to think deep in my mind, do I respond to this person like a black person, or do I respond to this person like myself? Literally, those are the conversations I have with myself in my brain. But in my adulthood, once I began to wake up, right, and liberate myself from this epiphany I was having, right, I had this epiphany that, hey, like, there's only one race, and that's the human race. And that's all I need to believe in. There's no such thing as black. There's no such thing as yellow, purple, whatever you want to call it, right? No such thing. There's cultural backgrounds, nationalities, and the essence of who you are. And who you are is within. It's not even out. It's within. And the only way you're going to find that is by the experiences that you experience. So on the other side of that experience, whether it's bad or good, happy or sad, on the other side of all these experiences, who you find out who you really are. Individually, who you find out who you really are. And then eventually you come to a happy place in your life and you realize that none of this shit even matters. What matters is what matters to me. But yeah, this is Don't Box Me In episode 2.0. I actually wanted to talk about propaganda and why we got to be careful what we listen to and what we believe in. Um I'll just pull up a song real quick. Shout out to Jay-Z. He's one of my favorite lyricist artists. But I think on this one song, I think he made the mistake of not. I think he made the mistake of actually pushing propaganda when he did this. All right, so let me see. Jay Z, what's it called? Still Story OJ. That's what it is. So Jay Z Story of OJ, right? And y'all, I don't know if y'all remember the story of OJ, but it's like, let me see, let me go to the lyrics so I can go word for word with this shit. You know what I mean? But these are the lyrics, man. Here's why I say you got to be careful because people try to box you in with this kind of stuff. And shout out to Jay Z. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like, I think Jay Z is one of the greatest artists. Probably he's top 10 for me. But straight up. So in this song, right? He's like, skin is, and it's like a woman. My skin is black. My skin is yellow. So basically, he's talking about like all the black people, and they try to kind of define themselves by who they think they are in terms of their skin color and everything thing like that. So this is Nina Simone. She's singing it. She's saying basically, skin is black. My skin is black. My skin is yellow. Right? Because there are black people that have yellow skin. There are black people that have black skin. There are black people that have brown skin. you know. But with Jay Z, here's where I don't like what Jay Z says: light nigga, dark nigga, fold nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, poor nigga, house nigga, field nigga, still nigga. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Jay Z. And here's what I don't like right here. I'm OJ. Like, I'm not black. I'm OJ. Okay. So if y'all know those lyrics, man, that's the kind of shit they try to put on y'all for y'all to limit yourself. What Jay Z was trying to say was like, hey, man, no matter what, no matter what, this is how people are gonna see you, and that gives power over you. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in that, if you believe in that, if you believe that you're a light skin, but you're still a black person, you know what I'm saying, and you still fit into this category of being a nigga, you know what I'm saying, then you're gonna be limited. You're gonna have limited beliefs. That's why you gotta let go of that concept. And I felt like Jay Z could have did a better. He could have did a better job in that song and pretty much saying like, hey, you don't have to believe in these limited beliefs. This is how people are gonna see you. You can't control how people see you, but you can control how you see yourself. That's what I think Jay Z should have said in this song, but he didn't. You know what I mean? And a lot of times they push that propaganda on you, man. Y'all got to be careful what y'all listen to. And that's probably one of the most prominent songs in like the 2010s era. Like that was one of the most iconic songs that came out. And people were like, yeah, like this is it. You know what I'm saying? This is the song. Like, this is true, and everything like that. And it got y'all heads messed up. It got y'all heads messed up, man. Jay-Z was just capitalizing on the money because he knew y'all were gonna believe it. And he knew y'all was gonna believe it. Y'all gonna keep listening to it, and keep increasing his pockets. But at the end of the day, Jay Z don't even believe he's black. He's a billionaire. Billionaire don't got a color. I'll tell you right now, the rules does not apply. The same rules that apply to me, the same rules that apply to you, whether you're a rice skinned, yellow skinned, black skinned. You know what I'm saying? The same rules that apply to us does not apply to him. He's a billionaire. You think he says in his own song, "Still nigga"? No, he's not. He's lying. The same rules do not apply to him. You can't even come close to him without somebody knocking you out. You know what I'm saying? You can't even like run up on Jay Z. You know what I mean? And you probably wouldn't because he's a billionaire. You just don't run up on billionaires. So, like I said, man, they try to push this propaganda on you. And if you want to be boxed in, you want to believe the propaganda, you want to believe in some shit that a billionaire is telling you, that no matter what, you still a nigga, no matter what, you still black, no matter what shade of black you are, you're going to be limited in yourself. Me, I'm not limiting myself. I'm shooting for the stars. You know what I mean? I'm shooting for the stars, man. I'm shooting for, shoot for the stars you land on the moon. But I'm shooting for that Jay-Z is at. And I can't get to that level. I will not get to the level believing that I'm black. And that's all I had to say. Yeah, but it's been real. This is a Too Easy Playbook. Like I said, man, just giving advice on life and how to get better and better yourself. And this is Don't Box Me in 2.0. Let's go ahead and boost this one up and give us some views too.